Hello and welcome to all Top 5s. Ireland has some beautiful, mysterious countryside, inspiring so much in fantasy fiction, including a Game of Thrones. The mythology and legend from Ireland is no less fascinating, with some wonderful examples to be found. Please forgive my pronunciation in this video, by the way. Irish pronunciations baffle me. Number 5. Dagdas Harp. The Dagda was an important Irish god, a druid chieftain associated with fertility, strength, and magic, amongst other things. He was portrayed as a big man in a cloak, carrying a staff that can kill with one end and give life with the other, an always full cauldron, and a magic harp, known as orna, or at least I think that's how it's said. This harp, made of oak, was said to have the power to control people's emotions and also to change the seasons. Dagda sometimes used orna to dictate the flow of battles. After one particularly famous battle, the Second Battle of Maid Tuirde, the Fomorian tribe stole Dagda's harp, hiding it in a castle. The clever Dagda, however, had bound the harp so that it would not make a sound for anyone else. He tracked it down to the castle and called for it. Orna the harp leapt out of the wall to him, killing 9 men in the process. Dagda then played 3 tunes on his newly recovered harp. The first caused the castle's women to cry, the second made the women and children laugh with glee, and the third tune sent everybody to sleep, enabling Dagda to escape with Orna the harp. Number 4. Finn McCool. Okay, so this name is an English transcription, but it is an official one. Known in Irish as Finn McCool, he was a famous mythological hunter, also appearing in Scottish tales. His name Finn means fair or bright, referring to his brilliant white hair. Finn was brought up by his aunt and a warrior in secret in a forest. As such, he learned how to hunt and fight and became wise to the world. He took studies under a leprechaun called Finnegas, who had spent 7 years trying to catch the salmon of knowledge and finally succeeded. This fish was rumoured to live in a river pool, eating hazelnuts fallen from a holy tree into its pool, gaining all the knowledge in the world in the process. Finnegas asked Finn to cook the salmon for him. Finn burned his thumb and, as a reflex, stuck it into his mouth. Some of the salmon had been on his thumb, and he instantly gained the salmon's knowledge and wisdom of the whole world. Finnegas gave him the rest of the salmon after seeing this, and Finn went on to channel the salmon's knowledge whenever he touched his front teeth with his thumb, overcoming his enemies and getting revenge on the man who had killed his father. Number 3. Puka. The Puka is a creature straight out of Irish folklore. They were shapeshifters that usually took the appearance of black horses, but also goats or rabbits. Occasionally they would take human form, though retaining animal parts like furry ears or big long tails. It's not entirely clear as to whether the Puka brought good or bad fortune, as there seems to be evidence for both. One written account from the 1700s described Pukas as wicked-minded, black-looking, bad things that would come in the form of wild colts with chains hanging all about them, and that they sought out travellers to torment. However, another tale classes them as benevolent. One day, a farmer boy noticed the presence of an invisible Puka and offered it his coat. That night it appeared to the boy in the mill as a bull. Other Puka came, and they all worked hard at milling the farm-grown corn into flour for many nights. The boy gave the helpers a fine silk coat as thanks, and when the Puka had finished milling all the corn, they left behind a golden cup full of a liquid that guaranteed happiness to anyone who drank it. There are some tales of Puka being vampiric man-eating killers roaming the Irish countryside, so it's up to you what you think of the Puka. Number 2. The Death Sign. This is an Irish myth told through a fairy tale from hundreds of years ago. One day a female shepherd was working in the fields when she heard music. Following, she found a group of people dancing merrily. She turned away, but behind her was a pale, strange young man staring at her. She jumped and asked who he was. He replied, "You ought to know me," and ordered her to run away before something evil happened to her. She noticed that the group of dancers had started running at her, beckoning her to them. The woman and the pale man escaped, but later he turned her face towards his and asked again if she knew him. Upon gazing into his eyes, she immediately knew the face. It belonged to a man who had drowned the previous winter, whose body had never been found. She screamed, but, taking the opportunity, she asked the dead man desperately, "Have you any news of my child, my fair-haired girl? She was stolen from me 7 years ago to this day." The man replied, "I have seen her, but she will never come back. She is with the spirits under the sea and belongs to them, body and soul. Perhaps you will meet her sooner than you think." And he disappeared. The distraught woman returned home, but couldn't enter through the door out of pure fear. She called to her husband that a presence was there barring her entrance. As soon as her husband arrived, she fell on her face through the door and said no more. She was dead. It's hard to glean a moral from this story, but that only makes it the more creepy. Number 1. Children of Lear. Here's a very old Irish legend, originally called Clan Lear. Lear was known as the Lord of the Sea and was given permission to marry one of the princesses in the kingdom, Eve, with whom he had 4 children. Sadly, his wife passed away and Lear went on to marry his deceased wife's sister, Aoife. Aoife was jealous of her nephews and nieces and made a plot to get rid of them. An opportunity presented itself on a family journey to their grandfather's house, and Aoife ordered her servant to kill them. After the servant refused, Aoife attempted murdering them herself, but couldn't muster the courage to do so. Instead, she used some secret magic to turn them all into swans, destined to live forever in that form, unable to speak. Once the king, Aoife's father, heard about this, he angrily transformed her into a mist demon, never to return to the world of the living. The swan children had to live for 300 years on the King's Lake, 300 years in the Sea of Moyle, and another 300 years on a legendary estuary. St. Patrick was said to have converted Ireland to Christianity during this time. One ending to this story goes that, at some point, silver chains bound the 4 swan children together. Centuries later, the Queen of Leinster greedily saw these swans and wanted to capture them. She persuaded her husband the king to attack the monastery where they were being sheltered, and in this attack the swans' chains were broken. They all transformed back into humans, ancient and withered, and immediately died. Not quite such a happy ending, but one of the popular ones. This tale is rumoured to have inspired the ballet Swan Lake, so it's quite an important one in mythology, and there are statues and figures of dedication all across Ireland. And that's it from all top 5s for this week. Of course, I've missed out some major players in Irish mythology like the leprechaun or the banshee, but I wanted to focus on some perhaps less well-known legends. Had you heard of these 5? Let me know in the comments. Just remember to be polite and considerate when talking to other people in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. A like really helps me out. I release a new video every Tuesday on all different topics, so if you like, you can click subscribe. So peace and love to each and every one of you, and I'll see you all next time on All Top 5s.